Um, and my name is Shelton Jamon, and I'm Chair of the Ethics Commission. For the record, we have quorum. Present are Cynthia Lynch, Linda Martell, Commissioners Tanya Rice, Vice Chair Monk, and myself. So rather than doing roll call, we do have quorum. We're going to start the meeting. Commissioner Fukunaga will join us very shortly, I understand. Before we get started, are there any members of the public who wish to testify or who wish to identify themselves and address any item on the agenda for today? I don't see any. No? Well, thank you. We'll move on. With respect to new business, let's see. With respect to the chair's announcements, and I just want to make a short announcement to all commissioners. And this happens to be with respect to the minutes preparation. Apparently, at last couple of meetings, I was not disciplined enough to ask each commissioner to identify themselves so that our person who transcribes the testimony can identify who was speaking. And also, there was a lot of over-speaking between each commissioner. So as a result, I just wanted to suggest the following so that we can have economy and efficiency with respect to the minutes that are being taken and transcribed. Each commissioner who wants to speak should just be recognized by me by just raising your hand. And that way I'll announce who you were speaking and that when you speak, I'm just going to ask you if you could be brief and remember the direct remark on the agenda issues. But more importantly, I will ask that if any commissioner speaks, but while the commissioner speaks, that no one speak over that commissioner. That occurs when we have discussion for any matters that's going to be voted on. So if you could keep that in mind, Vice Chair Monk said he would remind me. So he's good to, Vice Chair Monk said he wouldn't force that. Sure. I'm not good at it. Yes, Vice Chair.
So I understand that some staff have mentioned that even whispers on the side between commissioners could be picked up by the mic and complicate the transcription issue. So everybody, please try to be disciplined.
And yes, I can't even hear those whispers, not even with my one hearing aid. So apologize. But anyway, this owl does capture everything. I will remind commissioners, and I also want to let them know that we are dealing with a staff crunch. We're dealing with 60% of our staff here working, and we have 4 vacancies. The executive director, we have that vacancy. We have the lead investigator. We have the administrative secretary, which is Aaron, and we also have the legal clerk. So we don't have those 4 spots. So given the situation, the fact that we may not be able to fill them quickly because of the budget and the fact that we have to take into account their vacation, probably the replacement would not come until perhaps April. So during that first quarter, everything takes place, which include filings, the lobbyists, the financial disclosures. Then we have the ADA rules. We have other things that are being done, other projects. We have our regulations that are being prepared. Just want to ask that during the first quarter, at least for that time, that we don't overburden the staff with any individual requests, and we try to defer them until after the first quarter. And I think the acting executive director will notify us of some of the projects that she's working on. as she goes through her report. So anyway, I just wanted to remind everybody of those new procedures so that we keep our minutes accurate. Anybody have any comments before I move on? If not, let's address the next issue, which is the approval of the open session minutes of December 17th, 2025. Did everyone have a chance to review that? Okay, do I have a motion to accept the open session minutes of December 17th, 2025? Thank you, Commissioner Martel. Second?
Second, Monk seconds.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Is there any opposition? Seeing no opposition, we're going to adopt and approve the open session minutes of December 17th, 2025. The next issue to discuss is for discussion and action, is the deadline and start date for the executive director and legal counsel application. And by way of some history, initially at the last meeting, I believe it was, we had a deadline for the submission of applications and resumes of February at the end of this month. And we also indicated that the executive director needed to start no later than by, I believe it was May 1st. Unfortunately, we've learned that there are issues dealing with each of the permitted interaction groups, vacations and other things and other commitments that will force us to push back those deadlines. As such, I'm requesting, I made the motion myself that that this commission approve the new deadlines for the applications, which will be the end of March. I think it's March 31st for the new applications and resumes. And the executive director would be required to start no later than by June 1, 2025. So with that, I'm asking for, I moved and I hope we have a second.
Second, Monk seconds.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Is there?
I think so, yeah.
Sure.
Is Jeff,
Jeff's online.
Jeff
Yes,
and Chair, make a motion?
sorry, what?
And Chair make a motion?
Can Chair make a motion? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yes, the Chair can make a motion.
Thank you.
What about my Robert's rules? Yes, the chair can make a motion. Commissioner Rice,
Should point A3 say start date, or is that correct state date?
Oh,
yeah, it should say.
Start date,
Start
no
date.
problem, just wanted to advise for correction.
the public agenda is correct.
Yes, this is the,
Yeah.
slide. Okay. Having had having had no discussion or haven't had an opportunity for discussion, I'm going to ask for a vote for the, new extension of deadlines. Commissioner Lynch, how do you vote?
I approve.
Commissioner Martell?
Approve.
Approve.
Yes.
Vice Chair. I approve also. Thank you very, very much. The new ads will indicate the new deadlines. We're doing that as we speak. The next item on the agenda is the discussion and action, whether or not there should be a probationary period for the new executive director and legal counsel. And that was specifically brought up by Commissioner Fukunaga. Is Commissioner Fukunaga here?
Unfortunately, I don't see him online.
Okay,
Chair, may I suggest that we defer this agenda item until Commissioner Fukunaga is present?
Yes, I will adjourn this. I thought I saw him. I guess maybe I just looked at myself. Okay, we're going to defer this item until Commissioner Fukunaga hopefully attends. The next item, for discussion and action, which is more ratification is which needs just ratification is the issue of the reallocation of fiscal year 2026 fourth quarter operational expenses, the third quarter operational expenses. And the reason why I put this on the agenda is because for the third quarter, with respect to the advertisement of the EDLC position, there was no budget for it. There was nothing for operational expenses. We didn't discover that until it was brought up during the discussion. So we needed to, and also, we needed to reallocate the expenses, which we estimate to be anywhere between $5,000 to $6,000 for advertising. And thus, I had approved the reallocation of the fiscal year 2026 fourth quarter operational expenses. And that was primarily obtained from the hiring of outside counsel, which we haven't done, which we don't foresee this year. And I had allowed them to be allocated to the third quarter operational expenses. And in addition, those, with respect to those expenses, I had spoken with the acting executive director, and she had asked that we include in the reallocation security cameras so that the doorbell will have a security camera, and whoever comes on the doorbell will be able to see who is coming in before they are admitted. So we included that expense, which was a
2,500.
2,500. So the total allocation is $8,000. So with that, because I was involved in it, and because I had actually prepared the memo, I would request a motion for the ratification of this action.
So moved.
Commissioner Martell has moved to ratify and approve this reallocation as stated. Is there any second?
Second.
Commissioner Rice has seconded. Could I get a vote on this? Commissioner Lynch?
One quick question.
Oh, sure.
Is
For
that-
discussion, I'm sorry.
What does that do to the fourth quarter?
It was,
Operational costs.
when you take away something from the fourth quarter, that means that it must be used for the third quarter, so we're gonna be $8,000 less with respect to usage in the fourth quarter, specifically for the expense of hiring outside counsel.
Are we still within the budget?
Yes, we're still within the budget.
Then
And we've worked with the mayor's office of mitigation, and they are still in the process of doing that, has to go through budget.
Okay.
So it's not yet gone through. Thank you for that question. Are there any questions before we take the vote? Are there any discussion, anything else?
No.
We have a motion.
I approve. Oh,
You've got a motion,
We got the motion.
Okay, that'd be a second. Okay.
and you've got a second.
Commissioner Martell,
Approved.
Commissioner Long,
Approve.
Commissioner
Approved.
Rose, and I will approve that as well. Okay, is Ken here? Is Commissioner Fukunaga here yet?
No.
No. Let me, can we take a short recess? I'm
Sure.
gonna give him a call.
You got
He's been having problems with WebEx, so maybe that is the issue.
Call 10-minute recess?
Yes, I would like to call a recess at this time.
I can, thanks.
Okay, and we can hear you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get back to.
Bring back to order?
Yes.
11:49.
Okay, after taking a short recess, Commissioner Fukunaga has appeared on WebEx. Thank you for attending. So we now have 6 in attendance. The next issue for discussion and action pertains to the probationary period for the executive director and legal counsel, whether there should be a probationary period. And I would like Commissioner Fukunaga to address that issue because he had asked that this item be placed on today's agenda. Commissioner Fukunaga, take it away.
Yeah, could you repeat that? I couldn't hear the first part.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's for discussion and action, whether there should be a probationary period for the new executive director and legal counsel that will be hired, and it will start on June 1st, 2025. Even if 2026. Keeping in mind that we already had approved the extension of the deadline to apply to March 31, and now the deadline for the new executive director to start is June 1. So keeping that in mind, this is the item on the agenda as to whether or not there should be a probationary period for the executive director and legal counsel. Commissioner Fukunaga, do you have any, could you start with discussion of that before we take any action?
It was more in the nature of a question I think I had about whether the probationary period is something that's been done previously for the executive director and legal counsel.
Good question, because the last
Chair?
Vice Chair Hunk.
Yeah, I think I'm the person that's been around the longest, except for Lori, of anybody in this room. And I came on board about 3 or 4 months after the previous EDLC started on the job. I'm not aware of there having been a probationary period. However, it also strikes me as something that really isn't necessary because of the terms of employment, and that the executive director and legal counsel serves essentially at the pleasure of the commission. And so to formalize a probationary period would imply that there's some sort of tenure process or job security after tenure that is not actually in the position terms. So I would recommend against instituting a probationary period.
Do you know if it's typical to have a probationary period for this type of position in the city?
I have no idea personally.
I have no
Well,
idea.
Yeah, I think that's a good explanation. So I don't think we need a probationary period if that's the case. You know what you just said.
Thank you. In fact, I think I had asked Vice Chair Monk to go even further to have discussions with the commissioners who were there at the time, and he did do his due diligence and research.
Yeah, in fact, my comments were based on my discussions with one of the previous commissioners who was serving at the time that the last EDLC was brought on board. And they said that there was no probationary period because there was no need for them.
I do have a question. If there's no probationary period, how do the commissioners know or have any recourse should something occur that isn't within the constraints of the position, or, some failure to perform?
Mhm.
What is the recourse?
Vice Chair Monk. Give a response to that.
I have no particular expertise on the question, but my understanding is that because of the terms of employment, the commission can simply introduce a motion in a meeting to dismiss if that becomes necessary, and take action at any time. There's no time period that is spelled out before that can happen, or how long somebody needs to be in the job before that can happen.
So this is an at-will position?
Commissioner Rice. So you asked, is this an at-will?
Yes,
And my understanding is yes, it is.
Okay.
thank you.
And to add to that, the EDLC does go through annual evaluations. And from these annual evaluations, the decision is made whether or not we need to consider to continue with the EDLC for the following year. And the annual evaluations take place, as they did last year, sometime in May. May and June.
So this new EDLC would really basically have a year before an evaluation could even be made.
And Monk speaking, yes, but in the case of extreme circumstances, the commission could act sooner than a year. For example, if the new hire were to commit some crime
Mm.
or do something really egregious, then I think that it would be fully within our power to take action at any time, not waiting until the next evaluation.
Thank you.
I think what Vice Chair Monk is also stating, is that to put a situation of 3 or 5, 6 months would be contrary to the at-will employment condition, which is understood at the time, and that will be conveyed to all applicants.
One further comment, from a purely selfish point of view as commissioners, I think we don't want to add on a task for ourselves of doing a preliminary evaluation before the 1-year regular evaluation. It's just so much extra work for us that doesn't necessarily serve any useful purpose.
No,
Which Rice,
unselfishly, I just wanted some clarity on process. Thank you.
Sure.
is there any further discussion? If there's no, if there's no motion, then the matter is tabled.
Thank you.
At this time, there is no motion, and the issue, as discussed about the probationary period, is tabled. Okay, next is the acting executive director of the council's report.
Good afternoon, commissioners. You'll see attached the work reports of the staff. That's as attachment item. Item 2B1A attachment. And you'll see that it's changed in the way it looks a little bit. There's no longer pie chart. We're giving you numbers, and that's for ADA compliance and to make compliance a lot easier moving forward. So we're just starting early. In terms of the ADA, that's the next item on the agenda. The ADA, we're moving along. We anticipate that we'll be entirely ready by the deadline, which is April 24th. The staff is very busy with that. Right now, our staff working on that is Leland Reebok, our private secretary. We also have our legal clerk, Jan Hubert, and we also have our training specialist, Kirsten Aoyagi, working on that as well. So they've been really busy. That's a whole nother load that they're not used to. In terms of staff recruitment, as you know, our current vacancies are executive director and legal counsel, our administrative specialist who does all our basically our HR work, our procurement work. She is no longer with us. She got a promotion at UH, is what I'm told. And so we've had some help from the managing director's administrative services officer, who's the ASO. So, but essentially Leland is helping me do that work this morning. So Leland is doing a bunch of different, he's doing everything, okay, as much as everybody else. And so we are also down an investigator. So we have one investigator at the moment. Helping out with those duties right now are, the administrative, the assistant legal counsels and the remaining investigators. So everyone's got a little bit of a heavier load. Our legal clerk is down. We're empty, a legal clerk. Her last day was January 30th, 2026. That was very recent. So right now, our remaining legal clerk, Jen Hubert, in addition to working on ADA, she's also doing the job of a second legal clerk. And we are in our busiest season. Currently, we have, this is our financial disclosure period. We also have lobbyist reporting period and lobbyist registration period. And even though the deadline has just passed in January, this is the really busy season for our legal clerk because now she is going to start chasing down people that haven't filed, in addition to our associate legal counsels who are busy reviewing everything for approval.
And may I just make a comment about that? Excuse me, sorry for interrupting you. With respect to the legal clerk, my understanding is that we have been approved budget through the budget and through the administrator's office to hire immediately.
Yes,
The acting executive director is tasked with hiring someone immediately. And, rather than waiting for the new or the newly appointed EDLC, which won't occur until June, because of the need to have somebody in that position to provide support services, especially for the first quarter. So we did double check with that. So, Elmira is in the process of trying to fill that position.
we're going to clean up our budget a little bit, see where we can get with that, and then proceed with hiring. Okay. Let's see. We are also in, in addition to, our lack of staff and, we are also in our busy season and I think, training specialist Kirsten Aoyagi will report later on outreach, but we're also in the middle of launching our biennium training, mandatory for all existing board and commission members and all employees. That's taking a long time because we're coordinating with EOO and some other agencies, so they all be done through DHR. So it's actually quite a big feat, and she's doing ADA while she's doing that as well. So we are very busy at this point, so. Financial disclosures, you'll see the report says, next slide, thank you. The clerk's office, has received 65 out of 65 filings for council members, mayors, and cabinet. So, I think, the staff, whether it be the, legal clerk or the associate legal counsel have done a very good job, in addition to our training specialists, in getting the message out there to follow the disclosures. For confidential disclosures that are filed with the commission, that's basically certain officers and employees and commission board members. Before we get into the numbers for employees, board and commission members and the total, I'd like to say our commission has filed all of their disclosures.
Thank you for tracking this down.
Oh, my God. Thank
That's-
you.
Yeah, Jen does all the tracking. She has all this on a database. She maintains it all the time, and sometimes I don't make calls, but she's doing the heavy lifting. So, out of 395 employees, we have 375 that filed. Board and commission members, out of 184, 140 have filed. They're a little harder to get a hold of because they're volunteers. We don't have their contact information. The information isn't with DHR, so we have to work through liaisons. So it's a bit of work, and Jen will be working on that. So out of a total of 579 that we know are due, if the liaisons have updated their information, 515 have been filed. So we're doing decently, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Lobbyist filings, out of 179, 156 have been filed. And again, our dedicated legal clerk, Jen Hooper, tracks all this down, figures out who they are, rejects the ones that are incomplete. And we also have registrations. We have 144 individuals and 93 organizations that filed new registrations for the new year, for the coming 2026. Requests for advice. This is basically our legal clerk, Jen Hubert, and our associate legal counsels, Lori Wong Nowinski and Rainey Nakamura Watanabe. The requests for advice, in December, we received 12 and we closed 15. Some of them are remaining from last year. In January 2026, we received 28, we closed 24. This is something we usually are able to close in about 4 days or less. People call with questions to seek guidance in preventing violation and trying to comply. We try to respond as soon as we can. We always ask what deadline they have. Sometimes we get calls from agency heads, commission members, council members saying, we have a vote, it's up in half an hour, can you give me advice? We give it to them. We'd like to improve that, but that goes with, a little more, staffing and things of that nature, which we're gonna try to fight for in our budget. But, so these take several days, a lot of times, a lot of research, if you've ever asked anything when they write things out for you. But I think this is a critical piece of what we do, which the commission has, really advocated for our outreach to let people know that this service is here. And our numbers of enforcement actions have gone down as our numbers as our training outreach and requests for advice have gone up. Statistics for concern forms, that's when people actually file concerns. In December, we did 8 pre-screens. In January, we did 14 pre-screens of new cases that came in. That's a screening for things such as statute limitations, failure to state a claim, jurisdiction, if they even meet the form of concern, or if we need clarification and to help them, clarify the concern form. Ongoing enforcement investigations. This is the work of our investigator and our 2 associate legal counsels. In December, they were working on 18. In January, apologies, on 21 of these cases. In January, they're working on 18 of these cases. In December, they closed 2. In January, they closed 4. Yes.
Commissioner Rice?
I have a question.
Yes.
On the investigations, when they are, so this is not cumulative, this is a monthly tally, 21 in December, 18 in January.
Mhm.
When an investigation is closed, is the commission notified, the commissioners?
The commission is not necessarily notified if it is closed, other than, closed here, because, basically the commission, shouldn't review cases, before it gets to notice of alleged violation, before it has to adjudicate that, because you might be conflicted out. And you don't really want this information so it's sort of on a need to know basis when there's an accusation against somebody, or if, so.
I understand that. My question is for those that the commissioners have been advised on or been involved with, are any of those part of these closed cases?
I'm sorry, may I clarify, that advised on or been involved in?
Yeah,
We don't get
that have
involved.
been seen.
I think the question is if the issues have come before the commission,
Yeah.
is that included in these closed
Yes,
numbers?
that's
And I
what
think
I
the
meant.
answer is no.
Sometimes, yes, if it has to come back to you for closure, no, if it's resolved without that. If you've remanded it back, for example. So,
But if we remanded it back, are we notified of the disposition after a reinvestigation?
if it comes to the level where it needs to come before the commission for adjudication, then yes.
That isn't really clarifying. I will take this up
Okay.
in executive session or later.
So question, Chair?
Yes, Vice Chair.
So my understanding is then, supposing hypothetically, an action comes before the commission in an open meeting prior to its having been fully investigated or presented to staff in a formal procedure.
Before
And the
it
commission remands it to staff
Mhm.
to undertake
Right.
to determine whether there is cause for commission action. If the staff determines that there is no cause for commission action, then commission would not be notified in that case.
If the staff determines that there's no cause for commission action and there isn't an appeal to the commission to review that
Right.
new decision, it wouldn't come before the commission.
Complainant has a right to appeal.
Yes, or ask for review.
Or ask for
basically.
So in the case of an appeal,
Again, one at a time, so go ahead.
yes, in the case of an appeal, then what happens? And we remand it back to reinvestigation due to appeal. Are we then notified of disposition once staff has come to some kind of determination?
If, depending on the remand, if the remand is to get more information and make a new determination based on the information, and staff makes a determination, if there is no request for review by the commission, then it won't come back before the commission. if the remand is get me this and come back, it might come back. So it depends what it is. But it's sort of odd to remand it back and hold some sort of review or jurisdiction.
I think the clarification is with respect to the closed concerns there on the two for December and January. Or there are probably cases in which have not had an issue come before the commission. And that they were closed, so therefore I cannot see for any reason why commissioners would want to know why a matter was closed when it has not come up before us.
I have a little bit of it's not directly related, but at Cobo, for example, they said some jurisdictions go ahead and publish a list of closed cases and the names of people and what happened, even if no cause was found. There was a big gasp from everybody in the crowd, because, you know, you don't want to be accused of something and have it aired out if you're found to have no cause against you, you know? So, or,
I am not talking
hang on.
about concerns.
Hang on, Commissioner Mason. Commissioner Lynch has a question.
So again, hypothetically, so if someone comes to an open meeting and presents something as an appeal of something else, and it's remanded to be investigated, without knowing whether or not who prevailed, is there some way of notifying us that there's closure on it, and so we can put it to rest and check the box that it's taken care of? Otherwise, it's still in our minds pending.
I would think, and you.
Laurie, did you have a response?
Yeah, if I may speak. If hypothetically speaking, if something happened like that, where there was an appeal, someone came back, the commission requested further investigation and wanted an update, staff would provide the commission with the update with whatever happened to that case, when it's right.
Right.
And I think we can ask
Staff,
when these,
I'm sorry.
I think we can ask during the chair's report, when she discusses the closed concerns, we can actually ask whether any of those closed concerns had involved issues that were presented to the commission and involved us, or whether they involved concerns that just came about and never came before the commission. So we have the opportunity at that time, rather than going through every single one of those closed concerns and say, okay, which one is this? What was the matter pertaining to that? And revealing confidential information. Commissioner Rice.
Again, I reiterate, I am not talking about concerns. I'm talking about investigations, active cases.
Well, that's, our, what people usually, label a complaint or, we call concern.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about an investigation, an appeal, hypothetically, that has occurred with no resolution that we have been informed about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, and, all our investigations relate to concern, so it's relating to what you're asking. They all derive from a concern form or a staff initiated concern form. Sometimes it's, a staff can initiate concerns form.
I don't know how to be more clear in what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Well,
I give up.
I think the concern is would incorporate a situation where it did come up before the commission and they decided not to pursue it without cause. At that time, we would know, or you can ask as a commissioner, whether any of those concerns that were dismissed or found without cause are matters that came before the commission, either through an open section or other means, whether it was an appeal. And I think at that time, I think the acting chair or the current chair would be, whoever the chair would be able to discuss, as long as there's no violation of confidentiality, because it came up before us. Does it answer your question,
No.
Commissioner Rice? Okay, well,
We can table it.
we can, I suggest that we can discuss it further
Yeah.
I agree.
later on.
Okay, for budget, we've been working really hard on the operating budget for fiscal year 2027. I've met with administration. We have to, although the Ethics Commission has its independent budget, we are required to submit it as one executive package with administration. So we've been working with administration, or still are working with administration. We've also been meeting with council members on the budget, as well as, a council chair and city council vice chair, and chair and vice chair of our commission have been joining me at these meetings for support, showing them that, the appointees are in support of our budget as well. We're still working on the budget. Our first hearing is on March 9th. Presentation to city council. Second reading will probably happen in the first, it's not probably, it will happen in, I think, the first or second week of April. So we should know by then, what is probably in it, what the ultimate outcome would be, or we'll have some idea at least. See, ethics training program. I'm going to let, that is our training specialist, Kirsten Aoyagi, as well as our associate legal counsels, Lori Wong Nowinski and Rainy Nakamura Watanabe, who work really hard in reviewing all of the training materials for legal sufficiency. So I'm going to pass this on to Kirsten, if you'd like to present this.
Good morning, or sorry, good afternoon, everyone. To start our ethics training program, like Myra said earlier, we are working on releasing the calendar year 2025-2026 mandatory training. We're working with Department of Human Resources and Equal Opportunity Office. There's no exact date on when this training will be released, but I am thinking it's probably towards the end of this month. But of course, when that training does get released, we will let the commission know with information on how to complete the training. Hopefully this time we won't have login issues or anything of the sort, but of course we'll work through it and make sure you guys complete the training. So please be on the lookout for that. Moving on to slide 15. Our pop-up events for the year. This is our tentative schedule. We'll first have one at Honolulu Hale on May 13th, and then we will go to the Fosse Municipal Building on August 12th, and lastly, Kapolei Hale on October 7th. Moving on to slide 16. We had our newsletter release, Ring in the Lunar New Year, Your Ethical Outlook for the Year. This is our first newsletter of 2026. We went with the same thing as the September 2025 one with like the zodiac signs, but this time we went with the Chinese zodiac signs. So hopefully you folks enjoyed reading this. We did get some great feedback on this one, so there were people that really enjoyed reading this one, and it is in your meeting materials.
And I enjoyed it specifically, and I know that others have indicated that outside of our organization have indicated and commented that it was really nice. So yeah, I read it. I thought it was great. Thank you so much, Kristen.
Thank you. So if there are no questions, I will turn it back to Myra.
Okay. Let's see,
You're in legislation,
Oh, not yet.
not yet,
we are on
education opportunities.
education opportunities. There's a Society of Corporate Compliance and Ethics 25th Annual Ethics and Compliance Institute. That's in September in Orlando, Florida. Of course, there's also COGO in Denver, Colorado this year, and it's always the coldest time of the year. So that's in December. Let's see, getting to legislation. So, okay.
On the Society of Corporate Compliance and Ethics,
Commissioner Rice.
are we members of that automatically, like we are individual members of COGO?
I think Kogel, we, get a, they allow us to pay for one membership.
It's an institutional membership,
Yes,
so
what-
Vice Chair
yeah.
Moncur, institutional membership, is that right? I mean, it's for the commission and commissioners are factored in as a part of the commission.
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Lori. It's, basically one person is the registered member, but they understand Kogel allows, other people in the organization to use the membership to say, for example, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not asking about Kogel, I'm asking about SCCE.
Right. right.
Does that work the same way? Do we all have access to that information?
So like we have a membership to Kogel, we don't currently have one for SCCE. And what SCCE is really about ethics compliant in the private sector. It's a little bit different. So, not exactly on point. I think it's good for some of our staff to go to this, to see things like different outreach that we could do, or see different data management systems that are available. Not that we could afford it, but maybe we can create something like it, or different systems, or, trends they have. But it's not exactly on point so we don't have a membership.
That was just my question. And is there a link to this site for us? Since it's an education opportunity, is there a link that we can
We can provide
have?
that to you.
Thank you, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I'll just make a little comment that it
Yes,
might be
Commissioner
worthwhile,
Lynch,
it might be worthwhile for the city's enterprise organizations to participate in that. Just because I've had some interactions with them through the American Society for Public Administration, and they're very eager to be engaged and involved. So that's things that are off budget, like the zoo at Blaisdell, in the conference center, and anything that the golf greens, the golf courses. So anything that's generating income is classified as business operations. So they might be very interested in that.
Okay, thank you.
any other discussion before we move on? Thank you.
Okay, legislation, we do have a legislation of sorts, as, we reported in December, the, Charter Commission, is, it has been paneled and is going on right now.
If A first, Myra,
I'm sorry, can you
We're
read
dealing
that?
with
the ordinance 2421,
2421.
Oh, okay,
before you go into charter.
sorry. I'm gonna let, Associate Legal Counsel Lori Wong report on this.
There's nothing actually new to report, just that it went through the entire process and it was filed with the city clerk at the beginning of January, actually more like mid-January. So the rules are official. It's completed, yay. It's completed the process and it's now posted up to our website. And now we are happily citing to the new rules when we are giving ethics advice. So thank you for everyone's teamwork in getting the rules done. That's just a short update.
Yeah.
If you, great work. If you hear of any comments, because it usually occurs afterwards, after they see the posting, or if something comes up, would you let us know, please? I'd like to see or hear any public reaction to our new regulations.
Will do.
Thank you.
Yes, Lori worked really hard on that.
Yes, you did.
For a long time.
Okay, Honolulu Charter Amendment, sorry to skip that last agenda item. Honolulu Charter, Amendment proposals. Last time, in December, we reported on proposals number 109, 110, and 229. One of them was the governor's, proposal to allow him to, the mayor's proposal to allow him to solicit funds for certain projects. The other two were proposals to mandate that Parks Department solicit money from private entities for certain things. And I had reported that they were rejected to advance further, and that was my mistake. I'm reporting on them again because I want to correct that and say that, the two proposals were actually approved for further consideration, so we might see them pop up.
Which proposal number?
Yeah.
Let's see, that is.
On the agenda, sorry, Monk here, on the agenda, it's 109 and 110, I believe.
Thank you, Vice Chair Monk. Okay, next,
So in some, it undergoing some sort of reconsideration, so it may pop up again.
it may pop up again.
All right.
It's not, passed for, further consideration. So all these, the three that were heard at the December 15th meeting, proposal 109, 110, and 229 may pop up again. We have also submitted additional testimony, again, like we did last time, simply telling the Charter Commission what, the laws were and how this would change the law, providing no other testimony for new proposals. And if Rainey Nakamura Watanabe is available, I think she was unavailable this morning. She's going to try to show up, but I don't think, she has made it back yet. So I'm going to report on that for you. And we've put hyperlinks on the slides so you can access our testimony. Basically, proposal 035 suggested oversight of the Ethics Commission by requiring that the same penalties applicable to all other employees apply to commission members, which is already the case. We also have proposal 233 that requires the Ethics Commission to be elected by citizens. And we indicated that the requirements of for installing the commission members are to some degree provided in the charter, in the charter and in the Constitution. So you can't, you need a constitutional amendment to some degree, and it's intended for impartiality, basically.
Excuse me, Constitution.
State Constitution.
That would be for the State Ethics Commission. Was it for the county, or is it just?
The state,
The county is for the charter.
the state constitution establishes that every city or city and county will establish its ethics commission independently and provides a little bit of guidelines of what the city and counties have to do to establish this, and how the commission members, will be selected. So we're guided, we're mandated a little bit by not only charter provisions, but also state constitutional provisions. Then we have proposal number 118. It relates to the creation of a digital privacy and data protection framework and establishes a digital privacy oversight board. And the commission basically indicated that to the extent, our ethics laws, to the extent they, any conduct violates our ethics code, it would, include, whether it's done digitally or otherwise. Let's see, our last one, P158, proposal 158, addresses the misuse or sharing of personal identification data collected through licensing or traffic. And basically, we testified with respect to this one that our rules are governed by the Hawaii Constitution mandates that the standards of conduct relate to provisions on gifts, confidential information, the use of position, contracts in government agencies, post-employment, financial disclosures, and lobbyist registration and restriction. And to some degree, that already governs confidential information. We didn't think there was anything further needed specifically with respect to this type of digital, I'm sorry, not digital, type of information specifically addressed by this. And none of those were approved for further consideration. So they, hopefully we should see no more of those proposals.
Thank you for including that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that concludes my report.
Okay. Any questions?
I just want to make a comment that you guys are doing extraordinary work and covering so many bases, so we're deeply appreciative of everything that you're doing.
Thank you for mentioning that. We all are appreciative. If there's no further, there's nothing further, I'm going to request a motion to adjourn this meeting. As our next meeting will be on March 18th. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So move.
Oh, Mr. Bartel has moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Vice Chair Monk has seconded. If there's no opposition? If there's no opposition, this meeting is adjourned.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
I think